After that we can cut the cake.
ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಮೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು ವೈಟ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇದೆ.
For the invite, especially Naveen. I frankly never expected, and it was all of a sudden a call. And I thought, let me make it because other co-riders were not in town.
ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಇರೋದು.
Definitely, I'm missing them. My co-rider, Mr. Suman Malo, he was riding 250 V-Storm with me, and one more was riding 390 Adventure. Probably, you know, he's a famous YouTuber by name Kittadi Kiran. If you follow that channel, probably you can check out all the videos. There are some 45 to 50 episodes of our travel. Okay. My name is Naveen Gudedgud. I'm basically from North Karnataka. Dharwad Guttirabodala, Dharwad Peda. I'm from that place. It's been a decade I have settled in Bangalore. And since I'm interested and passionate about these automobiles, I was associated with automobile industry. I used to work for a dealer by name CVS Motors. I was with them for almost 7.5 years, and because of this ride, I had to come out of CVS because it was kind of a dream for me, and I didn't wanted to compromise on that. And as you all are aware, like none of the companies will give you 3 months or 4 months of leave. So it was a tough call for me, but then I took a call. Okay, coming to this ride. Now, how did this Bangalore to London idea pitched in? Basically, it was never on the cards. We were actually planning to do a Bangalore to Singapore ride. Since 2020, we were following up, but then because of some conflicts in Myanmar, the borders didn't open, neither from India side nor from the Myanmar side. So what we thought is, let us come out of this Bangalore to Singapore and let's plan something else. Then we came up with a plan from Bangalore to Russia. Now everything was finalized, but then there was one technical problem. What happened is in China, they'll give you only one entry and one exit. If at all we have to go to Russia and come back, it will be kind of a 3 entries, like 2 entries and 1 exit. But that was not possible. So then what we thought, why to come back and why not to proceed further? Any which way we are hitting Russia, from Russia we'll enter Europe, and from Europe we'll go to UK. And that is how this Bangalore to London came into picture. We never expected this. And as little what happens, it happens for good. We were planning for Singapore, then came to Russia, then we hit the jackpot, that is London. Now, coming to the plan. We started this preparation from January end onwards, and it literally took 4 to 5 months for us. Basically, the documentation is the biggest hurdle. So if any of you are planning, make sure you have ample time with you, not less than 4 months. 4 months is basic, minimum. So probably by June, everything was ready, and initially we had a plans of starting in the end of June. But then because of some visa cancellations, ours was a group, like, you know, we had some 2 cars and 4 bikes. Some people's visas got rejected, that is the Schengen visa, so we had to reapply, and because of that it got delayed. So that 1 month delay, it costed us like anything, because the temperature keeps dropping in Europe, Russia and all. It's pretty chill. But then we in between, like, you know, there was a time wherein we thought, let us back out, because getting a visa is a big hurdle, and as it is, Europe is crowded, and even they think thrice to give the visas. So luckily, through a reference, through our organizer's reference, he was working in France embassy, and through him we got visa, not only for 3 months or 6 months, we got completely for an year. So that was one good thing. Then finally we started our ride on August 11th, and August 7th or August 8th we were flagged off by the Sandalwood actor Shivraj Kumar sir, and on August 11th we were flagged off by our tourism minister H.K. Patil sir. Then from Bangalore we started, and we exited India and we entered Nepal. Nepal was our first country. Then from Nepal to China, Tibet, then China, and from China, Kazakhstan, then Kyrgyzstan, then Uzbekistan, and from Uzbekistan we entered Russia. From Russia to Europe. The first country to hit was Latvia. From Latvia we started, and we exited Europe from France. So totally we covered 16 countries only in Europe, and from Europe to UK. So in total we covered 25 countries. Initially the plan was to explore 38 countries, but then we were falling short of time. And Central Asia, we had a kind of a discussion with a group. We cut it short from 38 to 25 because otherwise what would have happened is we just kept on riding. I mean, if at all you want to explore, you have to cut down on the countries, else you can't. Or you have to extend your stays, which you can't, because our visas were getting expired in the month of November 2nd week, and before November 2nd week we have to enter UK. So from 38 we brought it down to 25. That was actually a good call, and because of that we explored entire Europe, Central Asia and UK. So in total we covered 25 countries, and we rode for almost 23,000 kilometers, and we took almost 80 days to reach UK, and overall the trip was for 90 days, like 8 to 10 days we stayed in UK, we explored UK. This is one part of it. Now the challenges can be either with your bike in terms of breakdowns, or with your head, because the weather is so chill there, and it's not like one or two countries will be exploring. You keep on changing the countries, and as you change, the weather drastically changes. Here at least 1 or 2 degrees there will be a difference. There is like massive. All of a sudden 5 to 8 degrees it will drop. All of a sudden it's too hot, and in one day you'll see the rainfall, the snowfall, everything you'll see, especially the Central Asia. So if you people are very much interested in hardcore adventure, then definitely you need to explore Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan is one country, I mean, it was really tough for us, be it in terms of roads. I mean, I wouldn't say roads, there are no roads only. Yeah, and snowfall, minus temperature, people are not that obliging, and the biggest concern is the language. So wherever the language is the concern, Google Translator will help you. That was our savior, big time savior. So as it is, nobody faced major issues in terms of health. The normal things like cold, feverish, we were carrying all the medicines. And since this tour was spread across 90 days, we carried some food materials, for example, ready to eat this MTRK. For breakfast, we used to have this ready to eat upma and poha. I mean, it's just for namesake. It never used to fill our tummies. And in the night, what we used to do, we carried electric cooker. We used to carry this loose rice and rasam paste. So it's like, we used to make rice and we used to add that rasam, hot water to rasam paste, and we used to make rasam and we used to have.
विदेशी में देसी खाना.
Yeah. We used to. I mean, only in the night I would say we used to have a proper food. Breakfast and lunch we used to compromise. And compromise in the sense, probably we never used to get so much of time to stop by to a good restaurant or something. Or even Europe, even if you want to go and have a good food, it's so damn expensive. Bloody, you'll think twice, thrice to spend or not. One burger, one small cup of fries will cost you around Indian rupees 1200, 1300 rupees. Here will pay hardly 150, 200 rupees. So it's 10 times, basically 10 times. Yes, this is one. And someone asked me which is the best country you found and all. I would say when you're traveling, I find all the countries are good. I mean, in terms of people, you get to meet so many different people, so you get to experience so many different cultures, food, everything. But my personal favorites are Switzerland, Vienna, Austria, and in Central Asia it's Uzbekistan. And opposite to that, I would say it's Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan is one country we had a tough time, which we can never forget. I mean, in terms of everything, I told yeah. Yes, in this entire tour, there were 3 adventurous roads or climate, I would say. One was when we were crossing from Nepal to Tibet. From Nepal to Tibet, basically there are no roads. and it's almost 3.5-4 feet of slush, mountain roads. Horrible it is. Literally we struggle. That is first thing. Second is in China. In China as it is, the roads are pretty good, no issue. But then the crosswinds should be at a speed of 120, 130 kmph.
Yeah,
Literally,
that's almost
exactly.
kind.
You won't be riding the bike like this. You'll be either like this, you'll be riding, or like this. Literally, it will be pushing with the other side. And if any truck passes by, that would be a savior for us. It's like that time automatic bike straight ho jata tha, and the speed would have overshot. It was literally pushing you. If you're riding at a speed of 90, if any truck comes, all of a sudden 100, 110. Easily it is to take off. So that is second one. And third one, as I mentioned, this is Kyrgyzstan. Tough. That I would say, I've been riding since 25 years and I'm into hardcore riding and stuff. It was very difficult, very dangerous in terms of climate, in terms of road, in terms of snow. There's no traction at all. You just accelerate, either you're going towards the left or towards the right, it will throw you away. People had a tough time. I mean, we had to, tow one bike. In fact, there was one rider who was riding with us. He was riding Triumph Tiger 900.
Nityadiga.
Nitya. He had a tough time. And actually, that's the expensive bike. That's the most expensive bike in our group. But that is the bike which gave us nightmares. it literally gave us nightmares.
Tiger 900.
ನೀವು ತಗೊಂಬೇಕಂತ
Think twice. I wouldn't say just looking at one bike, I wouldn't come to a conclusion, but definitely I would feel people when they think of these kind of rides, they often tend to go for 500, 600, 800 cc and all, but it's not really necessary. Okay? See, we did riding a 250 cc engine. I would say neither a 250, 300 nor a 800, 900. I would say somewhere between 400, 500 will do the needful. Because the infra is so good in Europe and other countries, you'll feel, your engines are underpowered. If you're riding a 250, 300, 800, 900, yes, you'll have a ball of a time. But I would say 400 or 500 is a must. We were riding at a speed of 100, 110 and all. We were feeling like, like at 60, 70. Like the bikes and the cars and all, they used to go at a speed of like 150, 160. Especially in Germany, we rode on Autobahn. Wow, amazing highway. I mean, I had expected way more, but then it's not up to that level. But then okay, manageable. It's just a 3-lane and one is the emergency lane on the right. This is one thing. And what else?
So in a day, how many kilometers you are?
See, basically we used to ride around 500 kilometers every day, 500, 600. But there are at times, especially in Russia, we have ridden around 1,000 kilometers for 4 days, 4 times. It's like every alternate day. And we rode for almost 5,600 kilometers, and still we are in Russia.
Largest country
I mean,
in the world.
geographically, it's
It's the largest country in the world actually. Geography.
And you won't believe, out of 23,000 kilometers, by the time we crossed China and Russia, we had already clocked 14,500, 15,000 kilometers. Already. And we were just left out with 7,000 to 8,000 kilometers, which we did it comfortably. And the most easiest part was in Europe. It's like, how you cross here state by state, there is like crossing the countries. You just hit around 350, 400 kilometers, you are in a different country. And you'll not even get to know that you have crossed the country. Only few countries have those signboards wherein we click couple of pictures in front of that. Otherwise, it's very difficult to make out. Roads, yes, China roads are good. Russia is topmost, I would tell you. I expected European roads to be better. European roads are good, it's not like that. But then Russia tops the most, I mean, as per me. And people-wise, they show a lot on the media, like China is this, that and all. But trust me, Chinese people are amazing. They are so friendly, they are so helpful. And even Russians for that matter. You would find these straightforward people and little kind of egoistic people in Europe. That is there. That you have to be prepared for. Germany also. Germany, yeah.
ಬೈಕ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನು.
They, I wouldn't say they are kind of egoistic people, but then they are to themselves. They're like, only if you talk, they'll just reply. That too, for heck of replying, they'll reply. But otherwise, I would say China, UK, and Russian people rock. amazing people, very helpful. And
police?
sorry.
Any police? It is very some.
Yeah, I faced one incident. I faced one incident. In fact, two incidents we faced. In Kazakhstan, what happens? It's like, in here what we have these fuel stations. Anyway you enter, anyway you get out and out. There is not like that. Wherever the entry is there, only that part you have to enter, and exit you have to exit. So what we did is through exit we entered.
Okay.
Yeah, they came and they fined Kazakhstan people. And fine in the sense it's not an official fine. There, this bribe is too much in Central Asia, especially. Yes. So they fined. They took some 2,000 tinges. Yeah, there's this tinge. The currency is tinge.
Convert to India means?
It is less. Convert to India means I guess some 600-700 rupees. Yes. But
Okay.
but I paid a massive fine in Poland. In Poland, what happened? We checked into the lodge. It was basically not a lodge; it's a service apartment,
Okay.
and the parking was pretty much good. But the catch was the parking used to be only from night 8 o'clock to morning 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Morning 8 o'clock again you have to take off. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
And morning aram se we have gone out for sightseeing and all. Then the cops had already. My co-riders, they were there. Luckily they removed the bikes. But then I got stuck, and they came to remove the bike. But they had a doubt whether that bike belongs to us or something fishy. So he was very particular. Let the rider come, then only I hand over the bike. Then it took me a while to come. Probably that might have hurt his ego. So he fined 500 zlotys. 500 zlotys is 120 euros, which is close to 11,000 rupees. So that was the biggest, highest penalty what I paid. Otherwise, the cops are good and people are helpful. But rules, the moment you are out of Nepal, there is absolutely no compromise. Be it the smallest country like China, the Tibet and all, no compromise. You have to follow the lane discipline. The rules are very strict. Europe, though, no second thought. And yes, in terms of bikes, I was riding a 10-year-old Suzuki Inazuma, and I was pretty much confident because back in 2010 I used to ride this Suzuki Zuas. That time it was way ahead of its time. So I had experienced that Suzuki ka refinement and the reliability. So I was very much confident. And trust me, in 23,000 kilometers, only twice I have tightened the chain. Only twice. And only twice I have changed the oil and oil filter. And entire 23,000 kilometers, I didn't even bother to change the air filter also. And I didn't even bother to check what has happened. Nothing. And entire 23,000 kilometers, I just had one time flat tire. That's it. That's the beauty, and that's how reliable Suzukis are. For example, even my co-rider who was riding a V-Storm, he never faced any sort of issue. Only once he had clocked the 14,500 kilometers, he had to change the chain sprocket kit. That was the only thing. And since I was riding Inazuma, the parts are imported, they come from Japanese. So the quality is way too better. It's pretty expensive, but then it's worth it. So I didn't face any issues.
What was the fuel management?
Sorry?
Fuel management, was it
Fuel,
difficult?
apart from Central Asia, everywhere you'll get ample fuel pumps. Nowhere we faced any issue. Only in Central Asia, in Kazakhstan, once we literally ran out of fuel. It's like, we never thought. That was, I think, after doing around 10.5, close to 10.5 to 11,000 kilometers. Everywhere the fuel bunks are available. So one fine morning, what happened is the fuel bunk is right there, and we were pretty late. We thought like, next bharwa lete karke, but that kicked us. For the next 125 to 150 kilometers, there was absolutely no fuel pump. So 3 to 4 bikers we stopped. All the bikes fuel got empty. Then this car, our organizer, he went and he brought the fuel. Only one time we faced that issue.
So you did carry extra
Backup from Cherry.
fuel because you had a car?
No, sir, we didn't. No. Because
Usually they do.
until then we had clocked, as I told, 11,000 kilometers. We never faced any issue. So it was not at all in our mind. That was the only time which this thing happened.
So, any challenge you faced while getting the permit and license? International permit?
That's very challenging.
License, no issues. Aram se will get. License,
Same license, Indian license?
No, IDP, International Driving
International
Permit.
license.
Aram se will get. That online also you can do. But then one more I forgot to tell. one more adventure thing. What happened with me is in my DL it is 1979 date of year, but my actual date of year is 1980, which is in passport. So these two things didn't match, and because of that, I didn't get the China DL. In China, you need to have their driving license and their RC card. They'll give you a separate RC card for your bike, and it will be in Chinese language.
It's a temporary.
Temporary.
One month something. Like
Yes.
So you'll get it there, or you will?
No. This DL and everything will get it there only. But then since my numbers were not matching, I didn't get it. I was like damn scared, and my organizer told you can't ride, and you have to give your bike to someone else. I mean, probably I might. I mean, my organizer will ride. I was very much disappointed, but trust me, entire China for 6,000 kilometers I rode without DL.
break the rules.
And you might have a question, how did you manage? Because there will be so many checkposts. China is one country, every nook and corner you'll have plenty of cameras which will be spying on you, plenty of cops. The system is too good. They will not harass you, they will not bother you. You need to be disciplined enough, that's it. And what used to happen is whenever any toll used to come or any checkpost used to come, like just 600 meters or 1 kilometer before the checkpost, I used to stand by. My organizer used to come. He used to switch. We used to switch the bikes. I used to go and sit in the car. He used to cross the tunnel, and then again he used to ride. So that is how we managed, and I completed a China ride.
That's new Jugaad.
Yeah, we Indians are famous for jugaad.
We were already planned where and all tolls are there and how many tolls we have to.
No, we get to know, no, aram se.
So what
And
else we
in
get?
the
Sign
map, I forgot to tell. There is Instagram, Facebook, and these things will not work. Your Google Maps will also not work. So we had downloaded Baidu. We bought the local SIM cards. We had downloaded Baidu. In Baidu, as you asked, it displays everything: fuel pumps, restaurants, and the checkposts, everything. So we used to have that. Suppose it's 200 kilometers away, 195 kilometers. I used to stop by, and my organizer used to come, and we used to switch the bike and cars. So this is what it is. Otherwise, it's a beautiful journey. I mean, before starting, we had so many dots in our mind, 20 to 23,000 kilometers, 90 days, UK, and I'm riding a 10-year-old bike. Kya hoga, kaisa hoga karke. But as the days kept on going by, aram se we did it, absolutely no issues. But if any of you people plan or something, make sure you stick on to it, you do it, because earning money is there throughout the life. You can earn it anytime. But these things definitely will not come back. Because of this, I had put my papers and because I had to do it at any cost. I'm very much confident I'll get a job. That's not a problem. But what I would like to say is don't compromise. Just start probably doing 1 or 2 countries, then probably you can catch it. And going with the organizer or going with the group, definitely it will have an advantage in terms of food, in terms of backup, in terms of anything and everything.
Overall, how much it costed, sir?
That is the important question. I was expecting it. See, bikers we have spent more because it's just like solo riding and we had to pay. For car, people who were traveling car, they shared. For them it's little lesser. I would say it came up to 17 lakhs for me. 17 lakhs.
ಗಣೇಶ
Inclusive of everything. It is inclusive of the fuel, fines, documentation. It also includes the bike service, the spares, the gear, everything from A to Z. 17 lakhs.
So what about the fuel at the minus degree? Same fuel or there is a special fuel for that?
There used to get 98. Like how you get here 92, 95. 95 is last, right? In some countries, in developed countries, you won't find it 92 and 95. It starts from 98. 98. In some fuel stations, you have seen 100 also. 98 and 100. Of course, expensive. Like in UK and all, we paid around 2 to 2.10 pounds. It's like almost 230 to 40 rupees per liter. And in Europe, it ranges from 1.70 to 2 euros. Around 170 to 200 rupees per liter. The cheapest was in Central Asia and Russia. Russia, though, it is known for petroleum. So we used to pay only 50 rupees, 55 rupees. So whatever we had saved here, we spent more than that in Europe and UK.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. There's one more question here.
Yeah,
What happened to the bike? I mean, how did we get it back? Trust me, the bike is still not come back.
it's on the way.
It's on the way. From London, at a distance of 120 kilometers, there's a port called as Southampton. This is the same port where the Titanic had begun its journey. Okay. So, actually, the same thought came to my mind when they told the same thought. So they told that probably we might receive it in mid of December, but I really doubt. Probably it will get overshot. Mostly end of December or first week of January. So that one part is still cars also. And for the bikes they charged 1 lakh rupees for transportation, and for cars it's 2 lakh rupees. And like how we have passport like that, we need to get a passport for bike as well. That is called as Carnet, and that will be issued in Mumbai. And for that you have to pay fees and the deposit both. Fees would be almost same, like we paid 1 lakh rupees fees for that per bike, and for car it's more. But the deposit varies. It's like if I'm riding a 1.5-2 lakh rupees bike, I need to pay 1 lakh rupees deposit. If someone is riding, for example, the Time Tiger, he has paid around 3.5 to 4 lakh rupees of deposit. So the deposit varies.
Is it returnable?
Okay. Deposit is
That's why it's called deposit.
100%.
In many places it is not. Deposit चले जाते हैं.
No, why they keep deposit is there are instances wherein people have gone there, they left the bikes there, and some people have sold the bikes, and in return those bikes will be used for some untoward this thing. So that's why they want to avoid this, and that is when this deposit thing started.
So you will get your bike on Bombay port or
Chennai.
Chennai.
There are two options, Mumbai or Chennai. We selected Chennai. Yeah. So that is one thing left
Chennai
out.
is
and
nearby.
We are planning. No.
Okay. So finally, let's cut the cake. I'm starving.
One last question. Sir, have you physically prepared for the entire ride?
Trust me,
Mentally, you have to prepare.
I didn't do anything, but I was mentally very strong. I knew that I'm gonna ride. And one more thing I forgot to tell you. As I told this YouTuber, like after 1.5-2 months, he was literally like, he was literally feeling like, when will I go back? He was like little homesick, and basically he's a YouTuber, and we cannot expect much in terms of riding and all. My co-rider Suman, he was fit and fine, but once he reached UK, he was like, okay, fine, I'm done. But when it comes to my case, I was like, खत्म हो गया, इतना जल्दी खत्म हो गया.
शुरू होके खत्म हो गया.
That N2 what I had on the first day, it was still the same on the last day as well.
First bike plan ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ
ಬರ್ಬೋದು, but vitamin M.
Cake cut ಮಾಡೋದು.
I hope I answered all the
So let's unveil the cake.
Thanks for sharing the information.
That's beautiful information.
ಯಾರ ಕೈಲೋ
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಕ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಉಪ್ಪು ಕಡಿಮೆ
ಚೀಸ್ ಕೇಕ್. ಚೀಸ್ ಮೆಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಚೀಸ್ ಕೇಕ್ ಅಂತ ಚೀಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ.
ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಎಗ್ಲೆಸ್ ಅವ್ನು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಚಿಕನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತಿಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರಿ.
ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ 3 ರೌಂಡ್ ಹೇಗೆ ತಿಂದವನೆ.
ಫೋಟೋ ಹೊಡಿಯಾ?
ಪೇಪರ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸ್ಲೈಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡು. ನಾನು
ಅಂಕಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನಿಗೇನೋ ಸಮಾಧಾನ ಮಾಡ್ದ.
ಆ ಕಡೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಲಿ.
ಈ ಕಡೆ ಕೇಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ